Prospecting in gold has been in the blood of man for thousands of years, and is as strong, if not stronger today. If one is going to quest for this noble metal, one needs to follow a few simple steps. The first and most important is to know where. A trip to your local library is in order. Find books on gold prospecting and books that write on the subject of mineralized areas and mining history of the areas and the areas that you intend on prospecting. Now that your head is full of knowledge, you must research on claims within the areas you have chose. Look for areas you can prospect on without claim jumping someone's claim. Look for open ground or panning sites that give public access to panning. Or one can try to get a hold of a claim owner and make arrangements with him. Or you could try joining local clubs and organizations. Okay, so now that you've found an area to start, but where to start? Well, the best thing to do is walk the land and get a really good idea of what you're dealing with. Look for areas of interest. Look and see what kind of mining has been done in the area. Try to find what areas they were targeting. If you have done step 1, and this is why it's important to do, you should have a good idea of what was done and what the gold is like in the area and what zones they were targeting. Now you should look for what they missed or they overlooked. A lot of old placer ground has something left behind for some simple reasons. In the time most mining was done, the gold rush era, they only could spend their time on placer ground that was cost effective. Basically, the ground had to be rich. Nowadays, a guy has a whole new world of tools for gold mining. The best thing we have is a water pump. This alone will open up a whole new world to us. High mountain benches that couldn't be moved by hand or hydraulicking and were left behind. This is the best bet a guy has for prospecting. All along the hills lay gold that was too hard and expensive to get at. The best way to prospect these out is to pan along the creek and look for signs of these deposits. When panning, go up both sides of the creek and sample every 20 feet, looking for anything different. The way I do this is to pan the surface gravels to a depth of around 3 feet and keep track of what you find. Basically, if there is an average amount of gold in the gravel, you'll be looking for above average amounts or something different. So let's say you're working up the creek and you are finding around 5 small flakes a pan average, and expect to find above average gold on inside corners or gold traps of the creek. But work even these types of spots into your averages. Now you come to a spot in the creek where your average has doubled, and say some heavier golds. Keep in mind we are working the surface gravels. So why is this gold here? This is the first question. Look around. Is this just a really good gold trap, or is this something better? Well, sample up the creek till this goes back to the normal averages. Once you found this spot, step back and now look up the bank into the bush or the river bank itself. You are more than likely looking for or at an old channel. Sample the river bank and off into the bush from this spot. Another way, and a bit of a shortcut to finding high benches with gold, is to walk up the creek and everywhere a side channel, a spring runoff channel, or a gulch comes into the creek, these spots will tell you what is up the hill without digging a lot of test holes. Just sample where they come into the creek and up them looking for interesting layers for gold. If a guy is going to get into prospecting and then enter the mining part of it, you have to first study then sample, then prove your ground and thoughts and targets, and find the areas with the most potential. This is how it was done in the days of the old, and if I know anything, it is due to my elders. We do have an opportunity with modern day equipment, but we still have to do as old miners and stay real to what we can do and how much it will cost. The best thing a guy can do is sample the area with a gold pan and then move into a high banker or bigger equipment. But hey, there is so much more than gold we find. Just being out in the woods and enjoying nature and the dream of the pan one day we may find that is filled with the noble metal as gold. Happy prospecting, and may the fever be with you.